evening. So I wanted to bring Kenise's HR Corner. So I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to do a video. Last week, I said every Sunday that I'm going to change it from Thursdays to now Sundays at 9 o'clock because I think it's just easier and better for people to kind of join. So tonight, I'm going to be talking about your profile. So this is for young people because I get a ton of questions from different young people that are starting their resume. I want to know what to put on their resumes. And this is for also people who currently have a job and maybe looking for a new job, or you should always keep your resume up to date, but not on your company. If you're working in a company, don't keep your resume up to date on your company's computer. You definitely don't want to do that. So tonight I'm going to talk about some quick tips on putting your resume together, and then some things that you should not do when you're putting your resume together. So, hi, Daniel. What are some important things that when you do your resume? What's a resume? It's typically your profile. It's something that most companies, most places that if you want to find a job some way, shape, and form, that's how they're going to know who you are. To know who Kenise is, I can apply to the company. They have no idea who I am. They're going to ask me for my resume, or some places call it a CV. So I'm going to talk about what are the important things as you structure your resume. First thing, when people usually see their resume, you want to make sure you have your name. Legally, you don't necessarily have to have your address on there, and there are some legalities that go along with it in regards to a company cannot discriminate against you from where you live. So I prefer, and recently, I just switched jobs. I left my address off of my resume. So it's up to you. You do not have to put your address on your resume or your CV. Sometimes employers do discriminate. So if the position is in Manhattan and you're coming in from New Jersey, but you can make it in, sometimes they'll put you on the back burner because they would just think, oh, you're coming in from New Jersey, it's going to be too far of a commute. But if you're applying for a job, obviously you know where the job is located, so you know that you can actually commute there. So you don't have to put your address on. So you want to put your name, you want to put your address, it's up to you. And of course, contact information and email. So it's very important when you put an email, especially for the young people out there. If you have your email address is like ghetto buddy or big eyes, blue eyes, I love myself at Gmail. So all of your personal email that you would use, like my personal email address is like fun names or like pet names or call names that you would have. You want to remove that. You want to create a professional personal email address, so that you can, hi Sister King, so that you can look professional. So make up a Gmail account. AOL is something that people laugh at, so you don't want to have an AOL account. If you have an AOL email, I still have an AOL email, so nothing wrong with that. So if you want to have an AOL email, it's fine. But you want to use like a Gmail. Gmail is really good. So you want to create one that's professional. So something like Kenise _Etwaru at gmail.com. Or so you put your first name, last name, and make it professional. Don't use, Big Booty 101 at Gmail. Don't do that. And I've seen resumes like that, and it's just very unprofessional. So you have your name, your address, your phone number, and then you want to start with the most recent job. So some people ask, I want to include my information on the top. You want to open with a summary. You want to have like an objective. It's kind of like cheesy to have like an objective on there. So I like to put a career statement or career profile or executive profile, or depending on the type of position that you're looking for. If you're a musician, if you are a singer, if you are an accountant, you want to put something that says something, a career profile, and then you're going to just give it a few statements as to what you're looking for. So you want to prepare them as they're reading your resume to be enticed and drawn into kind of your background Um, then below that, you want to put all of your skills and back them up. So it's always a good idea to add relevant skills. So if you're applying for an accountant position and you're once a DJ, necessarily you're not writing about your DJing skills. You're writing about your accounting skills. You can also put it in the bottom of your resume, like other hobbies and things that you do, but you want to keep it relevant to the position that you're looking to fill, to obtain. So you want to make sure that you add your skills in there. And then you want to put your most recent, so your most recent job. So currently, the name of the company, how long you've been there, hyphen now. And then you kind of list bullet point all of the kind of your tasks and summarizing your tasks and job responsibilities. Then go on to the next company and then the company. And you kind of, how long is a resume? I've seen resumes that are 10 pages long, and that's for kind of a fundraising position or a VP position, especially people with many, many, many years of experience. Even if you have 40 years of experience, you don't have to have a 5-page resume. Typically, you want to keep it to 1 to 2 pages long. Again, it's a quick profile. Human resources departments and managers don't have time. Remember, you're not the only resume that they're looking at. They're looking at 100 resumes. So if you're currently in college and you're going to be starting to look for a job, you want to make sure that you start creating your profile right now. Anything that's relevant to that job, you want to start adding it into your resume. And if you currently have a resume, yes, I do look at resumes. I've prepared a ton of resumes for people. So if you want me to take a look at your resume, you can send me a quick email. I do charge a fee for it, but they're actually really great quality executive level resumes that I do put together. And then on the bottom of your skills and experience, you want to show off your education. So if you have a master's degree, associate's degree, if you have a PhD or you're currently in school, you want to show that off in there. Even if you don't have a college degree and you're planning on going to college, I would put that in there, that you're planning on going to college. So kind of that's the setup of it. And you want to keep it simple. You want to keep it honest. And you want to make sure that you're hitting all of the important things that you need people to kind of read about you. I want to talk about some mistakes that you should be, and me, I've worked in human resources for 20 years and I've seen thousands of resumes, and I'm telling you what turns me off, because when I recruit for a position, it is very difficult to look at 100, 200 resumes. So I'm pretty much scanning it really quickly. I tell you, the first thing that turns me off from a resume from the get-go is when I see typos. That's a no-no. So if you're not good at grammar, punctuality, you want to make sure that somebody else is reading your resume. Give it to a few people. Make sure they understand it. Make sure that if you're young people, if you want your mom, your dad, your mentors, whoever to read your profile. You want your colleagues if you're currently looking for a job, you want them to look at your resume. You want them to read it. Typos are a no-no. I can't tell you how many times I look at a resume, the profile looks great, and then there are typos in it. Even if there's one typo, because for me, it shows that a person is not responsible and is not detail oriented. And most jobs these days, everybody wants a detailed oriented person. So I totally scratch the person off. The second thing is, besides the grammatical errors, is when the fonts are all different. So some people copy and paste. So they copy and paste something in a font that's at size 10 in the first paragraph, and then the second paragraph is at size 16, or it's different types of fonts. Those are a huge turnoff for me. So I feel you want to make sure that when you're doing your resume, watch out for grammatical errors, and you want to make sure that the fonts all stay the same. If you're going to bullet in the first part, you want to make sure you put bullets in the second part. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you definitely need help with your resume, so I can help you with it. Lack of specifics. So people tend to be specific, so you kind of give them the routine. So here, looking for a job is a job. Looking for a job is a full-time job. So what the best type of resume writing is looking at the job that you want, looking at the job description that a company has, then you take your resume and you tailor it to it. So for instance, let's take an accountant. So you're an accountant and you want to find an accounting position. So you look at a firm here in New York, we have Wall Street. So you look at a firm down in Wall Street. You read the job description, and then you look at what they're looking for, then you tailor your resume to what they're looking for. So when the manager, hiring manager, or even the HR manager is reading your resume, it kind of relates. It's like, okay, well, this person has X, Y, and Z accounting background. That's what we're looking for. You kind of like bring it to the top because they're only reading like the first few bullets. They're not reading your entire resume. I'm telling you, the only time I've read an entire resume is when the person's coming in for the interview. I kind of glimpse through it, look how long they've been in the company. They're not jumping around, no grammatical errors. Everything looks on point. And their statement, their career statement is on point. That's when I call them in. And when they come in, I'm reviewing their resume at that point. So you want to make sure you kind of tailor it. So look at the job description of the job you want to apply for. And then from there, you're going to tailor your resume to it. Attempting for it to fit on one page, like I just said a few minutes ago, 6 pages, no, but 1 to 2 pages, yes. You can definitely do a 2-pager if you've had like a ton of experience, 15, 20 years of experience. If you're coming out of college, will be graduating out of college, or you have 1 to 3, 5 years of experience, you should have a 1-page resume. You should not have a 2-pager. So you want to hit it, you want to be specific, and it's very important the things that you put on there. So some people mistakenly try to fit everything and cram everything, and the font is this tiny, you can't even see it, nobody's going to read it. Highlighting your duties and instead of your accomplishments. So I feel you want to talk about what you've done, tie it into the job description of what you're looking for, and then you write a little bit about your accomplishments. So if you're looking for an accounting manager that have saved money for the company, so you want to talk about how you saved money for your last company or your current company to show that you can do the same thing for their company. You don't want to go on too long, and you don't want to cut things too short. Again, it's very important putting together your profile, your career profile, because that's what it is. It's your career profile. You want to ensure that it's not too long, but it's not too short. But you have to know what to put on there. You have to know what the important things to put on there. So that's why you want to make sure that you have a few people read your resume, have them go through it, let them ask any questions before you start sending it out. A bad objective. So that liner that I told you just a few minutes ago when I first started is, when you write your objective, and I've seen objectives such as, seeking a career where I could fulfill my dreams. Okay, what was that about? I don't know what that means. Again, I want it to be specific to my company. So if I'm running a company, the ABC company, and you're applying for a job at my company, I want to see that you're passionate to work at ABC company. So it'd be great if you can add in your objective, seeking a position at ABC company. One, you're naming my company. You're saying that you've actually spent the time to put the name of my company in your resume. And now you're saying that I'm seeking a position, an accounting position at your ABC company, where I can do the following. Leaving off important information. You may be tempted, for example, to eliminate or mention jobs that you have worked on. You want to be very cognizant of what you put on a resume, and that's why it pays a little bit to just have somebody review your resume. Not everybody knows how to put a professional resume together, especially if you're looking for a job where you want to make a good salary, where you want to step it up. You want to there's a piles and piles of resumes that come in right now. HR departments we use a database. So all the resumes come in. From the time we post a position, I would tell you in the first hour to 2 hours, we're having 100 to 200, 300 resumes coming in from one position. How does yours stand out? Very important. People mistake and forget a cover letter. It is very important. In my next video, I'm going to talk about being proactive in finding your job, which I have some great keys and skills and tips for that. But I'm not going to cover it in this because you got to join me next week. And the last thing I want to talk about is that people forget and put down incorrect information. I have gotten resumes where people put their wrong phone numbers on and their wrong emails on. So again, we don't want bigbooty@gmail.com email addresses. We want professional email address. So please, if you're out of school, out of college, and you're going to start looking for a job, get rid or don't use the email address that you've used as your personal email address. You want to use an email address that is professional, something in which you are going to look professional. Cover letters. So really quick, I'm going to touch on cover letters, and then I'm going to answer 2 questions that I have so far here that's been coming in. Is you want to make sure that you target your cover letter to the company. So there are many times I've received cover letters. I love the resume, but then the person sends in a cover letter, and if my company is ABC company, they actually write in the cover letter and they forget to change it. They say, you know, I'm looking forward to working at your company, and they call it a different company. It's probably a company that they applied at before. So you want to be cognizant of that. So you want to make sure that you review your information before you start sending out your resume. Again, I'm here to help you if you guys are interested in help to review your resume. It pays. It's not expensive. I don't charge a lot. And it's something that I'm doing the HR Corner because I want to help with my experience in human resources. I want to be able to help both young people, college grads, and people that are in their careers that want to find something else, step it up, take it to the next level because of my experience, kind of for you guys to utilize it. So I don't charge a lot for the resume review. So it's pretty easy. It's very simple. But I do go through resumes. I've done this week alone, I've done 3 for 3 different individuals that are looking for, 2 of them are looking for total career changes and 1 is looking for a brand new job. And then I kind of help and coach them through it. So if you're looking for something like that, let me know. Otherwise, if you're just looking and have any basic questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But if you need me to look at your resume, that takes a little bit more time. It takes a lot more time invested in it. So I have a quick question here. I've gotten about 46 questions since I posted that I'll be doing this video last week. So I just want to answer a few of them. So one person asked me, is it okay not to send a cover letter? Yes and no. It depends on the type of company. I would say try to send a short cover letter, kind of describing yourself, and also it's a way for you to stand out amongst the crowd and every other resume and just say, I'm interested in this position. This is who I am. So you definitely want to do that. Somebody asked me about having their resume on LinkedIn, and I'm going to talk about LinkedIn and other means of social media when it comes to looking for your right career, your next job, or how to look for a current job, or for the college grads that are going to be graduating or have graduated and have finding a difficult time finding a great job. So I'm going to talk about that later on. And one more question I wanted to take, and I think somebody else had a question. Jacko says, yes, I could help you go through your resume if you would like me to. And I have one more question that I just want to take really quick. So if you guys are parents, I have a bunch of parents that have emailed me and to ask me, you know, their child wants to start during the summertime building their resume. So key thing is, so if you're a youngster, so even if you're in high school and you're not even starting college as yet, maybe you're a junior or sophomore in high school, I want to tell you want to start building your resume. 2 things. And colleges look for that one, that you're interested and you're being active during the summer school breaks. So I'm pushing our young people in our church specifically, and I want to tell you guys during the summer, if you have a child that's a sophomore or junior or senior in high school, they should be interning, whether it's at a company that's unpaid, and it should be in the area that they're interested in. So if they're not sure, they want to do IT, they want to do technology, they should be looking at companies and trying to get into the door by networking with different people, different companies, to try to get in. Even if it's an unpaid internship, it is experience to build their resume. So to answer that question, parents, It's very important. And finding a job on Jamaica Avenue in Queens or Liberty Avenue to get just a few bucks, or Burger King, there's nothing wrong with working at Burger King. If they want to own a Burger King later on in life, fine, that's thumbs up, go for it. But if they don't want to own a Burger King, there's no reason to waste their time doing that. They should find positions and try to find internships that they can start building their resume. That resume goes with them throughout their entire career. So you want to start young people at a very young age with building that resume, putting experience on there. So I'm open to any questions if you guys have any. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Next week, I'm going to talk a little bit more about searching for the right job and how to use social media to kind of doing proactive recruiting for yourself and how to find your best job. So thank you guys so much for joining me. You could Facebook message me like so many people have. I haven't been able to answer all of the questions, but I am responding to people one-on-one on Facebook Messenger. You can send me an email. Also, I have my YouTube channel, Kenise's HR Corner. So all my videos are uploaded there. So if you miss a video, feel free to go to Kenise's HR Corner and of course subscribe. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful evening and have a great week ahead. All right, take care. Bye.